Scorpio. What's wrong? What's going on? Not feeling good. I know this thing that happens with you guys. Remember when I told you I was married to a Scorpio for like 10 years? You guys have these dips, right? In your mood. You feel lost. You don't know what to do. Everything's boring. Why is everybody so stupid? I don't feel anything. Why don't I feel anything? Everything's so routine and banal, and I don't know. I want some, life. I'm sorry I get so lost like in putting the cards down. I want some life. I need to walk away from all this stuff going on with me right now. I don't want it. I don't want it. I feel irritated and nothing is making a lot of sense. I just know that everyone around me is kind of just full of it. There's a lot of BS going around and I'm sick of it. Look here. 2 cards of moving out already. Look. Right next to each other. So first up we have the 9 of Wands. I'll explain why in a second. But then 6 of Swords and 8 of Cups. 2 cards that, at least for me, are always associated with leaving. This a card for me of you have to leave. You've made the decision. It's painful, but you're gone. This a card of leaving behind much responsibility emotionally, but you just can't take it anymore. Almost being forced to preserve the self. You have both of them as the 2nd and 3rd card. And then, you in reverse. What's wrong, Scorpio? I'm sorry, this is what I used to do to my husband too. My ex-husband. And then the Fool in reverse. You got all this heart, all this feeling. But what are you going to do with it? What can you do with it? It's like, things are moving for you in terms of romance and pleasure, but you don't know anymore. Like, where's your... You see, this is like what your heart wants. And right now, you got to figure out what your heart wants. Because right now, you feel it, but you don't know how to process it. It's like you know what your heart wants, but you're so stubborn that you can't admit it. You can't accept it. And so instead, you do this long-suffering, miserable thing that's got you turned all the way upside down. And then when you get that way, then you get even more isolationist, and then you hide out even more from the world and become even more, Shiva-like, sitting in your cave, not wanting to talk to anyone. No, I'm mad. Leave me alone. But what's in your heart is pretty traditional, isn't it? When you get married, want a family. Or this isn't just marriage and family, this is a home. Right? This is a card of marriage and the establishment. But this can just mean home. A fruitful home. And right now, Scorpio can't see. Of course they can't see. They're upside down. Oh, this wonderful mix, Scorpio, of feeling terrible and then making yourself feel even worse by cutting everybody off. And I know you can't help it. I know you have to suffer in solitude and silence when you feel this bad, but since you have allowed me and given me the honor to be a voice in this darkness for you these next couple of weeks, let me assure you that things will get better. Yes, you're ready for more than just the BS. Sure, you're cutting ties with a lot, not just people, okay? Emotionally. From a lot of ideas, from things you thought you had to be, from people you thought you needed to impress or listen to, or people you wanted to be proud of you, maybe. You're leaving a lot of these expectations behind. But you're unsteady on your feet, and you can't see a way out, and you certainly can't see success at the moment, but do not worry. What you want is to be deep, and you will find it. You will find it. Of course, you will find your particular brand of it. Right. But you will find it. There is an element that has been holding you back from what you really, really want because you think it's bad or wrong. You can't reconcile how bad you want it and how upside down and turned inside out you are by the lack of it, but you sincerely believe that it's like just either sinful or societally wrong, not within the social norms, if you will. This could be a different religion. This could be thinking of people outside of your marriage. This could be, wanting to sit and snort coke all day. I don't know. Like whatever your particular vice is that you're holding yourself back from. Because what's that? Sitting around snorting coke all day isn't about snorting coke. It's about a lifestyle, right? So there's a certain type of lifestyle that Scorpio wants that is constituted of a lot of depth. Connections with someone, a singular one person that they can have a deep connection with and that they can talk to about things that are important to them. And right now, anything that you try to do or anything that you try to accomplish in this way is kind of turning on you in this fantastically absurd way where you're like, wow, how did I misconstrue that? How did that get miscommunicated? What is going on? Right? I need new friends. I need new people to hang out with. I need to expand my circle. I need to get more on the ball in terms of work because my friends are just like useless. Like whatever it is, you're having these kind of like awakenings where you're like, what am I doing and what am I surrounding myself with? Because I'm starting to feel like I'm upside down and I hate it and I know that I'm supposed to be really super successful or I am really super successful and yet I feel so empty and so lonely, or I am sticking to my traditional beliefs and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and yet it's in me and I want it and I can't help it. And I've been fighting it for so long that it is really starting to eat at me. And it's put me in just a funk, right? You guys are like clutching the walls in the dark, some of you. But it's okay, Scorpio, you do this. I learned over time that you need to go into the dark. You may feel sad when you're in there and you may feel lost and scared, and that's okay. There are all sorts of candles, just like this channel, that you can use to light the way until the next, bright shining door opens. And it will. You've got a lot of activity in your house of romance. You've got a lot of really good energy coming up. You will find newer and deeper connections. You will move around more. You will, really start to contemplate taking that risk. This year will really ask you to take that risk. That thing that the thing that these cards just popped right out. The thing that that you want, that you need in your life, that person you've always known was the one. And here it is, 2017. What's it going to be, Scorpio? You, your pride, your ego. You know this is your ego card. We've talked about this. Or is it going to be that love? Oh, and you'd be so good at that love. It depends now. If you associate that love with this, which you do, how are you going to break that? Because if you can't break that association, because if you can't see that what you want is healthy and good for you, and that you don't always have to adhere to this institution, listen, because this institution will be here long after you're gone. You can give your life over to it and do exactly what society tells you to, but no one will remember that you did. You may as well break some rules and take some risks. Instead of, kind of this blanket loyalty to this institution, to this vision of what you're supposed to have. Instead, why not work on turning these guys around? On turning yourself back around? And why haven't you done it? Because you know that involves admitting this. And what is admitting this? This is admitting that there are things greater than you, Scorpio, even greater than your own will, even deeper than your depth, even more sensual than your sensuality. This is when you meet your match and it scares the hell out of you. And if you've met your match, Scorpio, you already know this. If you met them 10 years ago or you met them yesterday, you know. And the more you deny this connection, the more upside down you get. Now, could this apply to Scorpios who are also not following their passion? Sure. Could this apply to Scorpios who are in a relationship with someone that they know is the one and that they're treating them really, really badly? Sure. This could just as easily apply to an ideal. If you know you've always been attracted to a certain type of person, but you just can't culturally marry them or be with them because you have to follow, and that would be seen as bad. Like, there's all kinds of ways to interpret what Scorpio is feeling, but the general feeling, the gist of it is the same, which is I want to get away from all these constraints. On some level you sense that there are all these opportunities here that you are not being able to take advantage of. You're just not being able to do that. You're being held back from doing that, and the things that are holding you back, you're leaving them. You're just like, I can't do this. This group of friends is too shallow. These family members are too judgmental. Like, I can't do this. These people are trying to control me too much. I'm out. And even if Scorpio don't physically leave, emotionally, you're out. You're just like, no, forget it. And then you start thinking, right? Like, where's my heart? You know where your heart is. You know who's there. And then it turns you upside down because you have all this heart and all this feeling, but like, instead you're just going to be mad, right? Go sit in a cave. Go be mad. That's what I always say to Scorpios. The one I was married to and the one I was in love with. Go be mad then. You want to be mad? Go be mad. Then you guys get real mad. Just to prove a point. And that's what you're doing. And then you get sad. See, on the outside, it just looks like you got mad. But then you get sad. And then anything you try to say or anything you try to communicate comes out wrong. But it's okay. Because all of this tension is kind of leading up to this defining moment where you make the decision between these two and you follow it and you will be just fine. You have like a new year, new me thing going on. You're going to really revamp yourself here. And guess what? Bottom of the deck, emotional victory. And under that, the star card. You got it. You got it. It's all right. Regardless of how it looks right now, it's all right. You guys need this process. You do this to yourselves. You forget that you do it to yourselves until the next time that's about to happen. You're like, oh, do I do this to myself? And then you forget again and you do it again. Trust me, you do this. You've been here before. It's dark. Another door always opens. There's always another light. You're just in the churning middle belly of the beast part of it right now. So it feels, terrible, which is why I'm not like, giving you a whole long intro and a lot of bullshit. Like, it's like, okay, let's get to it. This is what's going on. This is how you're feeling. This is what you need to remember that's coming up. And in the meantime, now that you know what's going on, what do you need to do to feel better? Chill. Chill. It's okay. What's happening right now needs to happen this way. You need to figure out what in the center of you, when it all comes down to it, what do you love? Are you going to spend any more time in your life sticking to what you think should happen? Because it's like you try to tell your heart what it should feel, right? But it can't. It's like finally your heart's like, listen, I'm going to win this war. Like you can never win against me. Like, it's like being in a stare contest between your brain and your heart. Like, your heart is always going to win. And some of you have really been suffering with this and fighting your heart for so long that now you don't know where it is. You've you lost it. You put it down somewhere and you lost it. And you're like, wait, why don't I feel anything? Like, I'm a Scorpio. What's going on? Why do I feel dead inside? Who did I give all my power away to? What did I do? Like, God, I feel so bad. What happened? Like, waking up in the middle of like a storm and being like, what? Where is everybody? What happened? Where's my stuff? Like, you're at that point, and it's actually a good thing because you're so hard-headed and you're so hard to convince that you have to do this to yourself to get anywhere. So good, because when you do this, it means that you're evolving. You're learning, you're getting better, you're making better decisions. So I'm happy that you're going through it. Okay? So it's not a big deal. It'll be over in a couple of weeks. Lunar New Year brings new luck for everyone. Like I said, lots of stuff going on in terms of romance, but figure this out first so you know where to go in terms of romance. What if you figure out that, you know what, you do want to be a part of the establishment and you don't want to go against it and you do want to keep, living that life that makes everyone in your society happy? Fine. Then you can spend 2017 finding a suitable, quote unquote, mate with whom to breed, if that's what. But if you decide that it's your ego, right? Because that would be deciding with the ego. Like, if you decide that society and living up to these norms is what's more important than being in love and being with someone you really love, if this is what you want to do, then this is what you're really doing. You're not actually picking society, just by the way. You're picking yourself. You're picking your ego. It satisfies your ego to be a part of the herd. Okay? So, if you're not doing that, if you're doing that, then great. Then 2017 is like, this is the playbook. This is what we're looking for. This is the criteria. This is the checklist. Check, 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 check. Okay, great. This is the person we're going to marry. Or this is the person we're going to be with. Or this is the business we're going to do. If, however, you are coming from this place, and what you actually want is this, right? A fruitful, beautiful life with someone. If this is what we're actually after, then you know that in 2017, what you need to do is you need to work on turning these two people around. You need to get your heart back in brave fighting shape, okay? And you need to let your feelings not be running all over the place out of you, like bleeding out, okay? Now, how do you do that? You have to tell this guy to go away. You gotta tell this guy to go away. You gotta tell this guy to go away. You gotta realize that maybe what you want isn't that bad. I guarantee you, whatever it is you want, there's about 30 million other people in the world that want it. Regardless of how strange you think it is. Probably a lot more than that. Either way, emotional victory is your outcome. And I can see that. I can see how this dark, clutching the walls period is that Neo moment where he's got it, he just won't believe he's the one. He's just not going to believe it until he gets shot in the chest and killed. Like, it takes that for him to be like, oh, I might be the one. Oh. That you gotta, like, shoot yourself in the hallway in the chest and die first before you come back. Right? Phoenix mythology. The phoenix just pushing through hard this month, right? So, burn away, beautiful bird, and rise again. In February will be a new lunar year with beautiful stuff coming in terms of love especially. So take heart, do the work, and I will see you in February. Don't be sad, I love you guys. It's gonna be alright.